Buenos días, mi gente. Good morning. Welcome to La Hora del Cafecito, a program dedicated to all those in our community who are living with autism, to all their family members, and to all those who support them. My name is Lourdes Quiñones, and I would like to welcome you to our Cafecito table. So please come on in, sign in, and let us know if you're drinking your coffee with us this morning. We'd love to say hello to you. In today's program, we're going to be sharing important information about back to school issues that we want to be considering during this COVID period. So you can't miss it. Come join us. But before we get started, I would like to introduce you to our Cafecito hostesses. As I said before, my name is Lourdes Quiñones. I am a card consultant assigned to the primary age groups. Professionally, I'm a pediatric physical therapist as well as a special education teacher. Jasmine Castellanos is an excellent professional in the field of mental health, is a card consultant assigned to the middle and high school age groups, and is a mother of 3, one of whom is diagnosed with autism. Welcome, Jasmine.
Thank you, Lourdes. Good morning.
Olivia McDonald is an excellent professional in the field of public health, is a card consultant assigned to the primary age group, just like me. She has a younger brother diagnosed with autism, and she is a brand new mommy of a beautiful, beautiful baby. So congratulations and welcome, Olivia.
Thank you, Lourdes.
Olivia will be answering our questions during the show today. So she's brought up a lot of information for us. So thank you for that. Ima Camposano is completing her master's in social work and has chosen to do her internship at CARD. She is committed to serving those living with autism in our community. Ima is a mother of 2. Has a physical disability, so she brings an important perspective to the program. Welcome, Ima.
Thank you. Welcome.
Maggie Aldana can join us today as she had a previous engagement this morning, but we wish her a very good day and a great weekend, and we'll see her back next week. Thank you. Before we continue, let's review some of the rules that we want to adhere to through our programming in order to maintain a safe environment for all of us. We ask that you please keep an open mind, a positive attitude, and use respectful language. So before we get on with the presentation, Jasmine, could you say hello to our audience members? Is there somebody we need to say hello to before we get started?
Let me verify. We have Karen, and yeah, that would be it.
Well, good morning, Karen. Thank you for coming in. We'll appreciate you having here. As you come in, just be sure to let us know you're here. Say hello. We'd love to say hello to you during our show.
Oh, I think we have somebody else. We have Joanny Waleska Figueroa, and we have also Yadira Calderon, who is also with us today.
Hi, Yadira.
Hola, Yadira. Yadira's coming to us from Tennessee. Thank you. Good morning. Say hello to Rainbow for us.
Yeah, I think she was in Puerto Rico. I don't know, she's still in Puerto Rico. She was having great vacations in there. I was getting jealous with all the food.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for being here. Anyway, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. So before we get started, can we pull up the PowerPoint, I guess?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So today's program, while you do that, today's program, we're going to be talking about, again, some considerations for back to school during this COVID time. So like I said, Olivia is going to be sharing a lot of information with us. So thank you.
This is Joanny. Good morning.
Good morning, Joanny.
Okay, so I'm going to share the PowerPoint. Uh-oh. Wait, give me 1 second.
Está bailando la Marisa.
It's the club remix.
COVID 2021. That is awesome. Yeah, the 2021 version, because it seems like not too long ago we were doing the 2020s version.
Let's try this one more time. Okay. There we go.
There we go.
Now it's working.
Excellent. All righty. So, thank you, Jasmine. So we're ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my first question to you, Olivia, is what can parents do to make the transition back to school easier?
So,
This is a reminder.
so before I answer that, Lourdes, I did want to remind people of a couple different things. So first, in today's show, we hope to share evidence-based guidance and resources to help make back to school easier. We won't be going into specific COVID policies for each of our counties, since the situation with COVID is constantly changing, and that means the policies are also changing a lot day by day. The best place to get the most recent information on school policies is on your school district's website. I did also want to point out, next slide, please, that we at CARD USF, we've created a document with a collection of resources in English and in Spanish to help address some of the common questions and concerns we've been hearing from our families and teachers. You can access the document at that web address there that you can see on the screen, and we will share a link in the comment section too. So our show today is going to really be to provide further guidance on this topic. But all the resources we referenced to today will be in that document. So to answer your question, Lourdes, there are several things that can be done to help make the transition back to school easier. So one would be maintaining existing routines. So for example, the activities of their typical bedtime routine will help reduce anxiety while you're working on building new routines, such as getting ready for school. It's also important to remember when we feel good physically, it can help with feeling good mentally. It also helps if we do get sick to recover faster. So make sure that there is time set aside for physical activity, like going for a walk, jumping on a trampoline, and that a child eats as healthy as possible. I know that some of our kiddos have restrictive diets, so that's why I say as healthy as possible. It's important to explain what the transition will look like and any possible changes, such as the possibility of staying home if another child in their class tests positive for COVID. And social stories and visual supports are great tools to help with this. It's important to identify certain activities that will help your child to stay calm, such as reading, listening to music, drawing. While playing on the computer may be an activity your child enjoys, too much screen time can lead to irritability and overstimulation. So, be careful in your activity selection. You can use a choice board, like you can see here on the screen, with these activities so that your child can choose an activity when they start to feel anxious or annoyed. And unfortunately, anxiety and depression are common during times of uncertainty. Regression in self-care skills, increased repetitive behavior, irritability, and changes in sleep can all be signs of this. So just keep an eye out for those.
And Olivia, what can parents and teachers do if there are behavioral issues?
So again, this could be an emotionally challenging time for children, especially if they've been doing remote learning. The return to school means being separated from their family members for a long period of time. They can also maybe be scared about getting sick and or anxious about a large change to their daily routine. The noise at a school can be too much to their senses. I mean, the noise, the lights, it's a lot more stimulating compared to, especially if they've had a year of being in a quieter environment at home with remote learning. And I think most of us can remember a time when we felt overwhelmed and stressed and then had other people asking you for a lot of information or asking you to do a lot of things. In that situation, it may have taken you longer to complete a task or it became too much and you snapped at someone. These are normal reactions. And so it's not surprising that this also happens for children with autism. It might look like a child is being defiant or aggressive, but remember, behavior is a form of communication. So You have to kind of be a detective and think, what is the reason that a child is being defiant or aggressive? Some things caregivers and teachers can do to help are giving more time to do a task, offering more choices, using visual tools, and as well as opportunities to process any sensory issues. We have more information about strategies that can be found in the resource document I showed at the beginning. And we also have trainings on our website, our online library resources. And we also, if anyone speaks Spanish, we do also have past Cafecito episodes on using visual tools, addressing sensory issues and behavior.
Yeah. And we may also still have other in English as well. So be sure to check out our resources section on the website. So the website, you would go into the resources section, online trainings, and see some of the resources that we have there, as well as on our YouTube page, which is CARD-USF, which also has different playlists that may already be created with some of the resources that you may be looking at this time. So thank you for sharing that. And like you said, the bilingual parents, we do have episodes that are from our Spanish show, La Hora del Cafecito, which this is an English version that we're doing just to be able to share this important information with our English-speaking audience as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Olivia, you mentioned how things are changing. Can you talk about the current mask recommendations?
Sure. So while at school, the CDC recommends everyone wear a mask indoors, including on school buses, while playing close contact or indoor sports such as soccer or basketball, and during indoor extracurricular activities such as choir or theater, those kind of things. The mask policy for the schools in your county could possibly change in the next couple weeks or next couple days. So again, visit your school district's webpage for the latest information.
That's true. Next couple hours too. It's an ever-changing situation.
Ever-changing. You got to be flexible.
Very fluid. Yeah, very fluid. Anyway, so on the same line about masks, what are the best types of masks?
So if you choose to have your child wear a mask, I would recommend getting the best mask possible. The masks that will provide you with the best protection are the N95 and KN95 masks. So like this one's a KN95. So both filter at least 95% of airborne particles, as small as 0.3 microns, but there are slight differences. So in the US, the N95 masks are regulated by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. It's a little bit of a mouthful, so it commonly is referred to as NIOSH. And that's part of the CDC. And the KN95 masks are regulated by the Chinese government. Many of the KN95 masks here in the States are counterfeits, so you need to be careful that you are buying from a manufacturer that follows the NIOSH requirements. And because the N95 masks have headband straps, they fit tighter around the face, while the KN95 masks have a looser fit due to ear loops. Both should not be worn with other masks, and only buy N95 masks if your local health providers have plenty. You can buy kids sizes and smaller sizes of these masks, so you can make sure to get the correct size. And again, I'll go into a little bit more later about sensory issues, but again, because of the slightly looser fit, the K95 mask might also be a bit better if that's a concern. Other masks are like, there are surgical masks, and those may be more comfortable than N95 or KN95 masks, but they are harder to get a proper fit. So getting a surgical mask that isn't too large and has a wire that you can adjust across the nose will help. The ear loops can be tied to fit better. And as far as the fabric or cloth masks, how porous the fabric is plays a huge role in how effective a cloth mask will be. If you hold it up to a light source, the mask should completely block the light. It's really important to not wear masks with valves or vents because you could infect other people due to respiratory droplets passing through the valve.
That was a nice idea that it really didn't work, did it?
Well, it only helps one way, and we want to be protecting both ourselves and others.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to hopefully get out of this situation.
Yep.
So it's not just about mask fit or material. A mask is also not going to be effective if it's not worn correctly. I'm sure we've seen plenty of people walking around with the nose sticking out of the mask. So if a child struggles to remember to do this, you can help them remember to do it correctly by using a visual cue. So, for example, you can take a picture of your child correctly wearing their mask and place that by the front door, so it can remind them to put on their mask correctly before leaving to get on the bus.
And I really like that visual support. I mentioned this before, but because it does provide the correct way to do it, and also reminders of how not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be another way that, it does help the student. You have to figure out what works with your child. Maybe just one is enough. But also, if you're needing more help, I like the idea of showing what not to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Olivia, what if a child struggles with wearing a mask?
So there can be other mask wearing challenges for students with autism, such as not understanding when they need to wear a mask, how it should be worn, motivation to wear the mask, or even sensory issues. So social stories and visual cues can help communicate expectations. When choosing a mask, it can help to choose one that's related to their special interests, such as like a superhero mask. Since there is that helps with motivation, since there is a wide variety of masks, you can choose one that minimizes triggering sensory issues, or the mask can be made more tolerable with adjustments like the ear savers, like the ones I have here on screen. You can also, if they tolerate wearing a hat, there's ones with little buttons as well. But the most important thing is whatever kind of adjustment you do, make sure it doesn't compromise the fit and that there are no gaps to where that could get in and make the mask less effective. Practicing wearing a mask at home in a comfortable environment can help too. And again, if you speak Spanish, our COVID back to school episode from last year has more detailed information for this as well.
Yeah.
Olivia, what if a child is being bullied for not wearing a mask?
So unfortunately, bullying is something experienced by children with autism more frequently than their neurotypical peers. It is possible that both children that wear a mask and children that don't wear a mask will both be bullied. And because of their black and white thinking and their desire to follow rules, there may even be children with autism who bully their peers for not doing what they think is correct. So it's complicated. And it's important for parents to remind their children to respect others and to speak with their teacher if they have concerns about bullying or another child's behavior. This really isn't a situation for a child to try and resolve on their own. Definitely involving a trusted adult in trying to resolve any kind of issue.
And I think that is so important in what you're saying, because bottom line is bullying is bullying, or being rough, or however we might not even want to call it bullying. We just want to call it being rough, disrespectful, or whatever. So regardless of the situation, we always want to teach our children to be in their best and to be considerate of others, right? We want others to be considerate of us. So sharing that as a family, that interest, and just, teaching our children to be respectful of diverse thoughts, diverse ideas, diverse the choices. It's really where it's at, and it's going to translate into other areas as well, not just the mask wearing or So regardless of where families are in their choices, just focus on the respect side of it and teaching our children to be really just accepting of differences, right?
Mm.
Anyway, Jasmine, do we have any comments, any questions from the audience before we get going?
We don't have comments or questions. We have Matt Gator that also is with us today, and he gave us the like. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, we're almost at the end of the show, but we didn't want to leave without, first of all, thanking our speaker, Olivia, for bringing such important information today. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to remind everyone that all the links to all the resources discussed today is going to be found in that document that we're going to link in the comments section.
Yes, thank you. Yes. And again, just remind people to also to go to our website, find information, go to our main page where you're watching this right now on CARD USF Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel. CARD USF is also where you might be able to find tons of information regarding social stories, for example, how to make social stories and other related information. So be sure to follow that. Okay.
And if there's anything like a specific individual concern, we're always here. So don't hesitate to contact us either.
That is true. So I want to thank our hostesses for being here as well. Thank you, Ima. Thank you, Jasmine, for being here and for helping us out to bring this important information to our public. But before we get going, also, I wanted to let you know that next week we're going to be talking to Nately Alvarez, who is a representative from the organization Disability Rights of Florida. So you can't miss it. Be here to learn about a lot of the resources that they offer and a lot of the information regarding the rights of those living with disability in the state of Florida. So don't forget to tune in. Also, I wanted to ask you for a small favor and see if you could please take a moment to click on the link that we're going to post on the comment section regarding a survey about the importance of this type of topics that we're bringing, this type of programming. Even if you've done it before, we appreciate it. This is the way that we can justify the time that it takes us to create programming such as this, as well as the time that it takes us to be in the air. So thank you from the bottom of our heart for taking the time to let us know how we're doing and how important this information is to you. All right. So we're at the end of the show. So before we get going, we'd like to ask you to give us a like, share this content with your friends and families. And again, meet us here next week so we can you can learn a little bit about Disability Rights Florida. All right, so be sure to leave us your questions and comments if you have any in the comment section. We'll be sure to get back to you. Okay, so thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.